It's me, Cappy. My mommy is the best. Superman will be next. She helps mommy. It looks my back. Your dick goes back. And this might go back. You wait for the straw. Brush. Get ready for Pet Super Scrubby. Pet Super Scrub.
Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Healing for the Soul podcast, with this being season number 6, episode number 4. If you are ever looking for a virtual assistant who can edit your social media content, grow your social medias, book clients, and much more that all businesses require, I highly recommend Sphere Rocket for all your virtual assistant needs. The link to Sphere Rocket is at the bottom of this episode. I'm your host, Robin Stoltman, and today I have my guest, Dr. Alain Salas, who's the mind-clearing doctor, on the show talking about break the cycle of limiting beliefs. And before we get started, remember, each and every week I feature different guests to help you become the best version of yourself through different methods you may not have heard of or thought of. So let's get started. Thank you so much, Dr. Alain, for being here. I really appreciate it, you being here today.
Oh, thank you, Robin. It's a pleasure. And it's a very exciting topic for me, and that's definitely my purpose and my mission in life to teach, what really the mind is and the power we can use to heal ourselves, transform ourselves, and grow from there.
And I love that, because I know we were talking a little bit before the show about how you're also a chiropractor doctor, and how does that work, like, with the mind? Because I think most of us, I would say, like myself, specifically, if we're getting really specific, when we think about chiropractic care, we think more about like your bones cracking, but we don't quite fully understand it unless you're in it, like you are.
Yeah, well, that's my basic formation, right? I've been on the healing field for 28 years. So I always wanted to find a solution for my problem, right? I used to have a big practice, and I was not doing actually chiropractic. I was doing more finding out what's causing the inflammation in your body, right? To treat all those chronic disease. And I made a really good practice out of this. I will have like 4 employees that I taught how to help me, to do some things. And also I was seeing 200, patients a week, right? So it was my mission in life, and I was, pretty pleased about that. But, I got married. I found a French woman in America, right? I'm from France, obviously, from south of France, and so I found that lady, and in a bar in Kansas City, we got married. We have the kids, right? And so I'm living the American dream, right? They used to call me the gypsy in south of France. Used to have a long hair, earring, partying all the time, and here I am now. I best to help people, and so. When you think you all that, and this is working so fine for you, if life has got more in store for you, life will let you know. And so what happened within a year, because I was so busy, I was thinking always about work, work, work. When I was done working, I will go to a home, but I was not there, but I was there, but I was not present, right? And so what happened, of course, you had to pay the price for that. So I ended up divorcing, right? And I had a daughter, Maya, right? So it's never a handshake when this happened. And so within a year, I ended up divorcing. I felt depressed. I was totally like overwhelmed, by the work. And so what happened, my practice went from thriving to failing. I was by myself in that big office with a treatment room. I ended up living there because, well, the money, right? And so I live in that office. I thought, oh, it was only like for a few months, right? Try to find a house. I ended up living there for 3 years. So I guess, the gypsy within me was still alive, and well. And so after what happened, I got diagnosed with early stage of colon cancer. So here I am, teaching people, telling people what to do against inflammation, right? And all that. I'm doing my program, obviously, and I'm getting sick. And so I had to redefine everything in my life, what I knew about, my relationship, my prosperity, and my health and my job, right? So, but I knew deep within me, there was like, how can I say, like, I knew that there was something deep within me that was pushing me to sabotage my health, to sabotage my relationship, and to sabotage my prosperity. So, you know, I, with the chiropractic and the technique I created, I was pretty pleased with the result I had with the physical aspect of the stress, right? The chemical aspect of the stress, I found out later on because to be able to heal from my cancer, I had to find a way to kill those cancer cells. And I found out that when you supercharge the body with oxygen, that will kill the cancer cell. It's the equivalent of basically vampire looking at the sun. They don't like that, right? And so I was pretty good, and successfully I was able to treat my cancer naturally, right? But I just wanted to find out what the heck happened to me, right? So basically I wanted to find out, a solution for my problem. And so the only things I didn't research yet was the mind. And we all talk about body and mind connection, which, by the way, I like better to talk about the mind and body connection. So I started to study the mind. And what I found is literally mind blowing. So you want to know what I found?
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah. Because I know
So,
like the
yep,
mind body connection. It's huge. I think the
it's
traditional medicine 100% misses that connection. That's just my take
for
on it.
sure. Yeah, and so, but we'll talk about that, the perspective of conventional medicine. But anyway, so I started to, research, read books, all of the above, a few things. And the first thing that I found out, it's like actually we live in two separate worlds at the same time. So, Robin, what do I mean by that? We've got the outer world, right? Which is basically our conscious mind, our self identity, who we think we are, what we are aware, our perception of reality, right? So, it's basically
Yes.
what we are aware of, our thought, our emotion, our behavior, and our action, right? And that's called the conscious mind. And after, there's a hidden world, inner world, right? And so basically, it's like it's very mysterious, very secretive, right? We don't really know what's going on. And we're going to call it the subconscious mind. And basically, the subconscious mind record everything you have been doing in your life, Robin, from age 0 to now. All your skill as a podcaster, as a mother, I suppose, and all the things that you do that require skill are stored in your subconscious mind. All the automatic process in your body that you don't have to think about it, like your digestion, like your heartbeat, like your breathing, come from your subconscious mind, right? And so I thought to myself, that sounds like pretty powerful. So many things happening there. And I started to dig more and dig more. And when I found out, it has been life changing. And for your audience and maybe yourself, you're going to realize that we are not what we have been told we are. So the big question, who
Exactly.
am I, right? And so,
Yes.
well, let's answer that. So the first things, your conscious mind, so who you think you are, process data at 11 bits per second. Your subconscious mind processes data at 11 millions bits per second. It means right now, I'm listening to you and we're interacting. I process all the data coming to me, like including in where I am in the room, right? 11 bits per second. But at the same time, my subconscious mind got 11 million more bits per second of data. Can you? Isn't it
Yeah,
crazy?
it's mind blowing.
So I thought,
That's why I love what I learned
yes,
about
and so
hypnosis.
yes. So I thought it's just amazing, right? And so I started to dig more and more and more. And when I found out that actually our conscious mind, who we think we are, it's only 5 or 10% our mind. Meaning that the subconscious mind is 90 to 95% our mind. And yet, if you want to heal, transform yourself, and grow what we focus on, only on our conscious mind, meaning that we're using only 5 or 10% of our mind power. So I thought about one thing and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we bring the subconscious mind to the party? Like that, we can use the remaining 90% our mind power, right? And so that's what the mind clearing is about.
I love this because yes, this is all the stuff that I learned with the hypnosis that I've tried to tell people. I'm like, all the stuff we have on autopilot, like that came from subconscious, yes, but it's from the time we're conceived to where we are now. But all that programming is done between conception to 8 years old. And the parents either make or break you. And then you
Yeah,
add other
so
things
there's
into that.
there's two ways we can get. So here's the question.
Yes.
where was, that when we are like from 0 to 7, 8 years old, doesn't really matter, right? But when we are a kid, we are like sponges, right? We've got different brain
Yes.
waves, right? Like theta wave, beta wave, and stuff like that. So we assume that what we see in the outer world is the truth. It's good, right? And so when
Yes.
you assume one time, you assume 2 times, 3 times, it becomes a program. And those programs are stored in the subconscious mind, right? So you've got two kind of program, right? You've got the programs that are good for you, right? It's kind of
Yep.
like when you've got a great day and at work everything is unfolding, you're super creative and you're achieving a lot, right? It's kind of like your mind is working for you instead of against you, right? And so
Yes.
those programs that are serving you, we call that empowering belief, right? And after you've got another kind of program, it's kind of, they are not serving you any longer, right? They had a purpose, but now they are
Yes.
not serving you any. And it's kind of like when you've got like a terrible day and a counterproductive day, and you say, oh boy, I wish I would have stayed in bed, right? Because this is not good. This is not working at all. And so we call that limiting belief. And so those beliefs they are acquired from our past. So it can be of course from 0 to 7 years old, but also it can be a trauma that you had, like in case of PTSD, post-traumatic
Yes.
stress disorder, right? And so that the trauma that really impacted your mind and can mess up your life in. I mean, you see all those Vietnam vets, right? The homeless
Yes.
and all that. So that can be very debilitating for your mind. And so, but also, those programs can be acquired via the media. Via social media, the bad news, all
Oh,
those fear and negative things can also culturally we can be so they can come from the outside world, but they also can come from other people that are around us. So, like we say, we are the product of environment, but so deeply that it goes into our subconscious mind and gets stored there, right? It's kind of like our past are creating our present and molding our future. Let me give an example to the audience. Let's pretend there's
yeah.
a little girl that see a dad that is a drunk and coming back every night and beat up his wife. What do you think that little girl, when she grows up, is going to attract as a romantic relationship, Robin?
The drunk.
Yeah, she's going to attract,
Hmm.
to say the least, an abusive relationship,
Yeah,
right?
the
And
the
so now
drunk or an abusive person or
yeah,
both.
let me make two comments about that. When you ask that woman and you say, hey, do you enjoy to get beat up like your mom? She's going to say, hell no. So the conscious mind is going to say no, but the subconscious mind has been programmed as men are predators and women are prey. So who's controlling who here?
The subconscious
Obviously, the
mind.
subconscious mind programming. And those are negative programming, right? So we call that limiting. And so there's three different case scenario with that woman now, right? And so first case scenario, she marry the guy, stay stuck in that relationship for the rest of her life. We all know or have heard about such a relationship, and we say, why is she still with that guy? It's because of a subconscious programming. Okay. Case scenario number two. She may get involved with a guy and get tired of it, get tired of the beating, find another relationship, probably an abusive one, but different, right? And after maybe another, like lots of suffering, and maybe she had kids along the way, who knows, right? And after, usually that's what those women are telling me. They say this. They say, Dr. Salas, don't talk to me about men. I'm done with men. I know they're not good for me. It's kind of like you've got a fire, you put your finger once and you burn yourself. You put your finger twice, you burn yourself. You say, hold on, I'm done putting my finger in the fire, right? But
Exactly.
that's true healing because you see what I mean? That's not true healing. Because true healing will be because we can learn from our life experiences, obviously, right? But true healing will be she's going to attract somebody totally different. She's going to attract a man that supported her. She's going to attract a man that is kind and respectful to her. She's going to attract a man that see her as her equal. And that's how you know that you healed, right? And so okay, scenario number three, she can come to see me. She can do some hypnotherapy, whatever things that tap into the subconscious mind and can reprogram, right? We can change
Yes.
that reprogramming. So, do you have any question for me?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not done, but
No, 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 no. So as I'm listening to you, I also know, like, with that mind body, like every single cell of our body, like there's the muscle memory. And then I don't know, but I'm assuming if the muscles have memories, wouldn't the bones have memory too? For like when
All
you're doing
cells,
the
all
chiropractor?
cells, all cells. Yeah, the chiropractor is different. Now I've been doing so many. I'm a holistic doctor, right? Do it all.
Yeah.
But the things that matter, it's like they've got an energetic memory. It's the energy, like the chi or prana, whatever you call, and
Yes.
that can imprint, can put that same energy. If I'm angry, right?
Hmm.
I'm mad about something. All my cells gonna be mad about something.
Yes.
Right now, what's causing me to be mad is those limiting belief. It's one of those program, and it's kind of deceptive in a way, because when you go on Google and you type like limiting belief, what they're gonna tell you self-esteem stuff. So you are not good enough, or you don't think that you can do this because you're too old, too young, whatever, right? And so
Yep.
that's a part of my program. It's called goal and success clearing, right? No problem with that. But do you think that your mind can create physical pain in your body? What do you think?
100%. Yes, it can. And it creates
Do you
disease, it
think,
creates
do you
cancer, it
think,
creates a lot of things.
yeah, do you think also your mind can create symptom in your body?
Yes.
Do you think that your mind can create inflammation in your body?
That I'm not sure on because I'm thinking it would have
Well,
to because it's like I've
if it create
switched
if it
diets.
create cancer, if it can create cancer, it can create inflammation, right?
Well,
Okay,
yes.
so yeah, I just described my body clearing, right? And I knew I was really under something when I was able to clear pain. Like people will come and still come, they've got neck pain, and in 2 sessions, the pain 70 to 80% of the people will have total pain clearing, no more pain,
Wow.
no matter what. Yeah. So it's very specific, contrary to hypnotherapy, which I have to say I'm
Yep.
not a specialist. I understand the concept. But what we talk about mind clearing is very specific. So why is it very specific?
Hmm.
Because if you compare your mind as a computer, right? So basically, your hard drive is your brain, right? Your
Yep.
thoughts are not in your brain. That's a big misconception that people have. So your hard drive is your brain. Your software is your subconscious mind. The output of your software is your conscious mind. And your behavior is going to be reflected on the screen of life, right?
Yes.
And so basically, when you've got a program in your computer that doesn't work for you, what are you going to do? Number one, you're going to delete it.
Yep.
Number two, you're going to replace by a program that is better, that is more serving you, right? And number three, you want to see the outcome on the screen of life. I just described a step of a mind clear. So number one, what do? You just delete what you don't want, right?
Yep.
Number two, you're going to replace it by what you want. And number three, you want to make sure you're going to create that into your life. Those are the three steps of a mind clearing system. So that's about it. Very simple, very easy to do. You just have to speak the same language but the subconscious mind. So I'm sure people's going to ask me, what is the language of a subconscious mind, right?
Yes.
Well, our subconscious mind communicate with us. And when we remember a dream, what do we remember of a dream? We always remember a picture of a dream,
Yep.
right? I never had anybody telling me, oh, Dr. Salas, I remember only the smell of my dream. It doesn't make any sense, right? And so that's how your subconscious mind communicates. That's why the subconscious mind can get so many 11 million bits per second, because they can put that in pictures. And a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And so
Yep.
what I will tell people, I will say, give me a condition that you would like me to help. Give me an idea, something. So it can be a negative thought, it can be a negative emotion, it can be a symptom, it can be whatever you want it to be, or a goal that you want to reach. Tell me, what do you want me? Give me an example.
Mine is I don't like my inflammation. Yeah.
You don't like
Lymphedema.
what?
I don't like the inflammation. I got lymphedema.
Okay.
I just want the
So
inflammation gone so I can exercise. Makes it easier. I'm just
I,
saying.
I specialize on chronic disease that you have, autoimmune disorder, all those things, the long-term pain and stress. So first, right,
Hmm.
I'll do physical, chemical, and emotional and mental, right? So I will say, okay, let's find out what's causing the inflammation, right? That's step number one. So we'll muscle test, your body will tell me which organ under stress and what's causing the stress in those organs, right? So this is step number one. After when this
Awesome.
is done, you had that condition for how long, if I may ask?
I have had well, it's gotten worse after the repeat surgeries that I've had for C-sections. Um, I would say
Give me
for
a,
about 10 years worth.
yeah. So when you've got long-term pain and stress like that, you think it can impact your mind.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel
And
it.
so the way it can impact your mind, if you have been trying everywhere and you think you have been everything, you can create a subconscious programming saying nobody can help.
That's right.
You see, that's how the mind can be tricky. So I will tell you, okay, let's find out what's causing it, right? And
Hmm.
after, let's make sure that your mind is aligned with the process, meaning that your thought about your disease and your recovery, should I say, your thought about your recovery, your emotion about your recovery, your behavior about your recovery, and your action about the recovery are all aligned. Because, if I say, for example, in my mind, oh, I'm going to start a diet. And after I feel, I say, oh, wait a minute. Last time I started a diet, I lose lots of weight, but I regain all the weight and more. And so that's my emotion component. So the emotion are not aligned. So do you think I'm going to be successful on my diet? No.
No.
And best case scenario, I will try it, but I'm going to give up very quickly. So with the mind clearing, we will be aligning your thought, your emotion, and your behavior, and therefore your action. And like that, once it's all aligned, we're in good shape, right? And so that's a thing that I will do to treat, like to make sure that your recovery, there's no limiting belief that prevents you to recover because there has been such a long journey for you, right? And it's still going
Yeah.
on, right? And so, of course, your mind can be affected. And the big danger on people who's got long-term pain and stress is they can be more in the victim mode. I know it's not the case. Lots of people will be oh, why is happening to me, right? And that's legit, right? And so it's not your fault, it's not their fault, right? And so they will so after we need to shift the mindset from a victim mode to a more creator.
That's
Yes.
that
And
survivor part.
exactly. And there's always mental and emotional reason why you have that disease, right? So we need to explore that and release that. But what I have to say with the mind clearing is very simple. Very simple. You don't need no skill. I mean, the skill that you don't need any skill. You just need to learn. It's kind of like when you go and you've got a program, you need to click to delete your program. You need to go to the Play Store and get a new program and things like that. I make it very simple because it is very simple. There's a way to do that. So what you will do, I will say, I want you to visualize you having the worst case in your disease, like your worst symptom, and that's going to be your limiting belief. That's what you don't want, right? And after we will customize together a program, and you will send the program to you in that picture, being like such in pain or whatever happened, right? And that's deleting what you don't want. And after I will say, Robin, what I want you to do is to visualize, you being healed, totally healed. And after we're going to download that empowering, and that's it, that stuff, a program you're going to send to you in that picture, right? And step number 3, and after I will say, okay, I want you to also to see how your life's going to be, how it's going to change, all the goodies that you're going to be able to see now that you are healed, right? And that's the manifestation of it. And it's another program, and my job is to guide you. You are using your own ability to heal yourself. That's why, this technique can be taught, and that's what I do. I taught like to lay people. Like everybody can be taught of that. Of course, if you're a coach or a professional that really want to go deeper and get rid really of a cause, transform, not only your life, but your clients and patient life, of course, you can learn that technique. But when I had this insight of a technique, I knew it was like for everybody. I had to make it accessible for everybody. And that's really what the mind clearing is about.
No, I love that because I agree with everything that you're saying because it is true. And they've done so many studies on it. It's not like this is new age or any of that. They've had it for like
No.
through the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. I've told so many people like before World War II, you go back and you look, there was none of these psychiatric drugs. There was none of those at all. None of them existed until after World War II. And that's where they used World War II, the US did as a great tool for pharma. That's where it came from. And I'm like, beforehand, they used
Yeah,
hypnosis,
that
they used tapping, they used holistic care, they used a lot of tools that worked. Not it probably didn't work for
and
everybody,
even
but like the belief is where you're getting at, and that's
yeah,
true.
but even though when we
Mm-hmm.
do research study, right? You do a research, a double-blind research study, right? So let's see,
Yes.
I go to a research, they go to a research and they're going to tell me, okay, I've got a heartburn. Let's pretend I've got heartburn. And they say, if you take that pill, you have no more heartburn. So I say, okay, let's try it. I take the pill and yeah, I have no more heartburn. So I said, damn, this is really good. This is really working for me. They say, hold on, Dr. Salas, we didn't give you the pill. We give you a sugar pill. So it's called the placebo effect, right? And
Yes.
so they brush it up. So what does it mean, the placebo effect? It means you believe in your mind, and deep in your mind, in your subconscious mind, you can believe also in both, obviously, subconscious mind and your conscious mind, right? If you believe because maybe my dad took a pill and he was healed, right? So I've got the belief that taking pill will heal me, right? Which is, of course, not true, but okay.
Yes.
Let's pretend, right?
Yes.
And so but I've got that belief, so I took the pill, and the belief healed me. It's not the pill, it was a sugar pill, right? And they brush it out at the placebo effect. And no, that's how we heal. That's not an effect. That's pure. That's the best healing you can have because you empower yourself to heal yourself. And that's the holy grail of healing and transformation and growth when you can empower somebody to heal themselves or to grow by themselves or to transform themselves. So we are the placebo effect. We
We
are the
definitely
placebo effect.
We definitely are. That's why I'm like I love this field of study at like the mind body connection. That's why I said it's left out, but it's like because of what you said, it's that belief. You give a person the sugar pill. They've done like even when we did the hypnosis for pain management, they did a study on people that had knee surgery. Three of them actually had the knee
Yeah.
surgery done, and then the other three
And
thought they had the knee surgery, but never actually got them
they only
replaced.
have a scar. They
Yeah.
only have a scar tissue. Yeah,
And,
I know. I'm aware of that study. Actually, it's yeah. But the thing at the matter, I remember talking to a hypnotherapist, like doing a
mhm.
podcast, and she asked
Yes.
me that question. She said, "But don't you think it doesn't last?" I said, "No. Here's what's happening. When you do the reprogramming, let's see, you come from neck pain, so you say, oh, I've got the 8/10, right? 10 being the maximum of pain now. You should be down to 0 to 1 in 1 hour, right? And after if the pains come back, it means I call that resistance for healing. So I will ask you,
Ooh.
okay, so if your pain came back, what were you doing? Oh, I get mad at my husband. All right, so that's one circumstances. And after the pain come back because I spend more than 1 hour in my computer, right? And so we'll do mind clearing on those resistance to eliminate all the triggers. And that's why within 2 visits, 70 to 80% of the people, it's gone and doesn't come back. And it doesn't matter for how long you had the pain because it's a program. When the program is gone, the program is gone. That's it.
Exactly.
When you put your program in the trash, this is it. You cannot use it anymore. So it cannot produce, the pain, or it cannot produce the symptom you want to get rid of. It cannot produce the inflammation and all the negative emotion and feeling and behavior that you can experience.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I've loved having you as a guest just because like this is so amazing how you're out there, you're doing this, you're explaining to people how it's just like you can tell like you're so on fire, like you're so alive in this and how you're helping people. And it's just like I just love meeting other like-minded people. I just really, really do. And I'm sure our audience does as well, because it's like, I'm sure the audience is going, okay, so if this is this, then like, where would my belief be on this, for example, like for pain? Like one of mine I know is like, I believe I have to have pain in order to be alive. But it's like, where did that belief come from?
But,
And I'm just thinking like
but here's
as
the
the
thing.
audience. Yeah.
But here's the thing. We don't have, in my field, there's so many misconceptions. That's why they don't speak the same language. Why am I saying that? Because you don't need to identify your limiting belief. You just replace them. Because
Yes.
how can you, using only 5 or 10% of your mind, which is your conscious mind, crack the code of 90 to 95% of your mind? That's not doable.
No.
That's not possible. So, when they say you need to have a diary and write down all that, you need to have a ton of affirmation, you need to feel that and this, it takes an iron will to do that. And it's not very
That's
specific. How are you going to, I've never heard anybody who's got like result mind clearing, even hypnotherapy, because I knew that I was under something when I was able to consistently treat pain in so many, like a couple of visits. And that's what I knew. I said, okay, now we're talking the same language, right? Because I used to
yes.
travel a lot. And the most frustration that I had is like when I met a cool person in my trip and we didn't speak the same language. And I feel that's what's happening with the subconscious mind. And so people will tell me, oh, it takes forever. No, it doesn't. When you speak the same language, like for example, now,
Mhm.
if the audio goes down, I'm going to have to communicate with you with sign language, write it on some stuff,
Yep.
We're not going to go very far, right? I feel that's in my field, that's what's happening, right? But the mind clearing is fast and it's not complicated. You can learn it on
Yeah.
your own, and I'm teaching that, right? That's it.
I love that. So what's the best way for our audience to get in touch with you?
The best way is to go to my website, right? Themindclearing.com, and you go, there's a ton of information there, much more than I even tell you in that podcast. And after what you do, you just go to contact, right? And there's a form. And if you come from your podcast, if they come from your podcast, Robin, they will have a 20% of a treatment, 20% off. Because, we can talk about things forever, but until you experience it, you don't know.
Yes.
You don't know I can help you. What I can promise you, no matter what you want to treat, if it's a health concern, if it's a relationship problem, or if it's a goal and success problem, right? What we do at the beginning of a session, you say, okay, range the number of your problem for 1 to 10. Let's say I've got pain, right? In my neck, nobody
Hmm.
was able to treat me. Or it's a 8 over 10, right? At the end of the session, it should be a 0, 1, right?
Yeah.
And after I will say you now, pay attention, for the next week, if a pen comes back, write down your circumstances, right? So, like I said, the computer, like I get mad at my husband or whatever it is. And like that, you come back and we treat it and we're done. So,
Awesome.
it's only a question of time. It's only a question of time. Just for you, more specifically, if it's for the lymphedema, we need to really go and find out what is the inflammation, what is the chemical stress that you have. And after, like
Yes.
I told you, we need to explore the mind to make sure that you're open for healing. And now you can go on your way and be done with that craziness.
Well, awesome. And we'll definitely do that because I know we're running right out of time here. But I appreciate it so much. We'll have Dr. Allen's contact information at the bottom of this podcast, so be sure to check out his information. And thank you so much for my audience for listening. And thank you, Dr. Allen. I appreciate you very much.
That's all for now, folks. Thanks for listening. Thank you for fun. Help that fall bucket. Destroy. Quack, quack. Bye-bye. Well, next time. Now we will got it.